is Jerame Mudick, and I'm here to facilitate breathwork. I think breathwork is important in this process because it's a conscious version of breathing to change our state. And I think that as we go through different emotions, we tend to have these ups and downs, and sometimes if we don't lean into them enough, they can become overwhelming. And I think breathwork gives us this advantage to use them in a way that can be creative versus responsive. And so I think breathwork is a vital tool to keep us open to express. So I'm not familiar with how writing works, but I am a creative mind and way of creation. And I do know that breathwork itself, no matter what it is that you're trying to create, you're always going to have these walls and blockades because they're walls that we have built up ourselves. I think breathwork is a great tool to break down those walls, whether it's brick by brick or just shatter them entirely. And I think everyone in here, they're all a unique individual with a unique story to share. Regardless of whatever it is they were writing, they will have these walls that they built up over time because of their own experience, their own stories. So I think breathwork, and especially the breathwork that I'm bringing here, is going to be this free access for them to where they can say, I can push that aside and I can stay the course as far as to get the book done. I'm nervous to write my own book because I've always been a talker. I've always been someone that just wisdom comes through, knowledge has been formed over years, and I just like to give it to people. I kind of always viewed myself as a messenger, and writing a book has always frightened me because it would be down on paper and it just wouldn't be a one-on-one conversation with someone. So I feel like it's an extremely vulnerable place for me to be because, like Kira says, that once you put it to paper, it's out there forever versus just one person telling another person. And so that is honestly the part that worries me the most. And if I'm going to share my story in the way that's digestible to other people. Kira says that I've already written a book, and it's because of all the classes that I've taught and my sermons typically at the end of every class that I teach. And I usually base it off of my own life story and how I feel it can be related to other people, because I think we've all gone through similar things. We just have a different response to it. So whatever my book's going to be about, I know that it's going to all tie into my company mission, which is to guide you back to yourself. And I want to make sure one thing is for certain, and this is what I wrote down earlier and that I'm sticking to, is that I just want to make sure my words honor Jesus. Hi, my name is Jerame Mudick, and today is day one officially. And my biggest breakthrough miracle today was me recognizing to take my own advice. And I've always had this fear of sharing my story and putting pieces of it out there. And I think it was more fear of my own judgment versus others. And so today was a big wake-up call in realizing that, because I tell this to other people too, is that sometimes your story can be what saves another person's life, or at least to impact it. And so now I'm taking my own advice and I'm willing to share parts of my story in hopes that it will do exactly that. My name is Jerame Mudick, this is day 2, and this is my breakthrough. Something that happened Sorry. Okay, so we went into the ocean at night, which is something I've always been terrified of even thinking about doing. But Kira has a way of persuading you in a way that she believes will bring growth, but internally you're crumbling because it's something you don't want to do. But I did it, and it was amazing. I loved it. Actually, it was a ton of fun. It's something I'll never forget, truly. So that was just another one of those moments of conquering your fears and learning to silence that. And that's always something that I dive into a lot, is we should be able to face our fears and go through them, because it only helps us grow, because we grow through discomfort. And that kind of ties into my book and what I'm doing and sharing parts of my story. And today was a really good day of writing for me. Kira opened me up into a couple different ways to look at things and kind of widen the lens for me. So peeling back one layer at a time, sharing bits of my story and getting this information out there is something it's very uncomfortable for me. And I've even shed tears in this process, which is also new for me when it comes to this, because usually when I share my story, there's no tears because of all the healing that I've done throughout the years. But I think there's something different with typing it out and having to say it again and reading it yourself that actually brings about these emotions. But they're not emotions of pain. It's actually nothing but gratitude, because I'm able to see how far I've come to be able to use what has happened to me and to heal my own wounds, and I hope that the story will do the same for someone else.
Give me one more, one from the holster.
One from the holster? Hi, my name is Jerame Mudick, and this is the final day. The miracle that I experienced this week is having the courage to share my story. to actually put it to paper and to share it with others. That to me is very different because I've kept those things locked away for a very long time and only a few people know about it. But now it's time for me to share this story with the world and translate it in a way that I hope is digestible, that will give people hope to expand and pull themselves out of their current situations to knowing that it's possible. So my biggest miracle takeaway from that is just finding that belief in myself again, that I am capable of doing anything that I set my mind to. The state of my book is, I would say there's a few chapters done, but it's also all of my stories kind of pieced around like this and me trying to find a way to make each one into a chapter, basically. So taking the magnets, as Kira would talk about, and funneling all the information into it and making sure that I'm not giving the end result within the chapter, right? So I want to save that for the ending. So there's a lot of reconfiguration that's going to have to take place still, but I feel I'm just so full of gratitude in the fact that this process even started and how far that I did get, because I knew that I was helping a lot and I was teaching a lot here. So my time was dedicated to serving everyone. And so my windows of time to write were a little shorter than everyone else's, but I needed to really capitalize on that. And I'm grateful for the time that I did get, because I did something. I did a lot more than I thought I would. This trip was way more than I expected. I mean, truthfully, the only thing I expected is that my mind was going to be blown on where we were coming, because we're on a private island, and knowing the history of this island and Brittany, the owner, what she has done to get to this point and what she still continues to do. So the expectation were that I was just going to show up and be mind blown, but I've been blown away every single day, because the view as I look out there, I don't think I've ever seen anything so beautiful in my entire life. So to have your breath taken away so consistently in every place, in every corner of this entire island, feels like a blessing. So I would say it absolutely blew my mind every moment of every day. If you're on the fence to come into this experience, I would say I think that's normal, because for one, it's a commitment to give time to yourself to help serve other people more. So sometimes it's hard for us to find the value in that. We'd say, well, do I ever have the time or the finances to make something like this happen? And the truth is, we all do. We all have the same amount of time in every single day. And when it comes to finances, you just find a way to make it work. And sometimes that does require time, but it's always going to require effort and commitment no matter what it is that you're doing. Even if it was to take your kids to Disneyland or something like that, you're still going to find a way to make it work and plan it out. So if you're hesitant about doing something like this, to come to a place like this and to write a book, then I think that's okay. I think it's okay to be hesitant, but you can't wait for every light to turn green. Yeah, we have this incredible filmmaker here. His name is Sammy. Super inspiring. He's probably the best one I've ever met in my entire life. And the guy carries such a high level of energy. It's like, not like he's trying to flex on you all the time, but his body is so naturally flexed that his ego just is stroked every moment of every day. But to me, it's just a light, you know? It's just like it's an and probably top 3 best cuddlers. Kira brought me out to not just facilitate breathwork, but to also be a helping hand. And Kira and I have worked together now for about a year, and every one of her author adventures, she has me zoom in and walk everyone through breathwork. I think that she likes to utilize that technique because what has been shown is that it can crack people open in a way that nothing else can. It gets them deeply rooted into their body, that their mind that is trying to go through all these different processes, it tends to get caught in the overthinking phase. Breathwork kind of hones all that in, and it shifts the state almost instantaneously. So bringing me on this trip, knowing that she was going to have more people to work with than ever before in one setting, it was vital to have something that could be applied every single day to help people with the large amounts of input that's going on. And also for her, because she's giving all this energy to all these people, to holding space for everyone. I mean, we only have so much that we can give every single day, right? Our brain can only have so many decisions to stretch and make per day. So breathwork is such an expansive way to open that door back up, to refresh the mind and body a bit. So for her, I think her knowing that it would benefit all the people, I think she also knew that it was going to help be her own personal reset every day, which would help her serve everyone else even greater. Honestly, that it's just an honor to be here. This has been such a blessing, man. This is like, I never thought in my career that I would ever be in these shoes.
And like it literally just fills my heart in a way like nothing else can, because I feel as if I'm doing what God is asking me to do. And to get an opportunity like this and to start spreading it more across the world, it's just another way for me to honor the Lord. And I'm just incredibly grateful for it. Yeah, I mean, probably top 2 greatest looking men I've ever seen.
They're both here.
I feel like, if we're going to analyze who we are as roommates, what I would look at first is I can't even keep going, man. The leg cross, I kind of killed my own fire.
Fire.
It's kind of like fire and ice, just go so well together.